Hello. Hope you're well. Hope you can hear me. All right, we've got the point of view camera queued up again today. And we're going to play with the hot foil system and we're going to try a whole load of different things to see if they will foil. Some of these things I know work, some of them I do not. So it's going to be an adventure. But join me. It's going to be fun. Of course, it's going to be fun. Right. So let me switch around to point of view. Let me grab my bits and pieces. I am already I'm already set up with the hot foiling system, which has been plugged in, and I'm just checking when it's ready. The white light stays lit and the red light flashes, so it is up to temperature. I'm going to keep an eye over there so that I can see that. Oh, no, it's bleeped. There we go. White light. When the platform is ready, red is solid and white flashes. So we are good to go. I have got my cut and emboss ready with the various plates. I'm going to be watching over the screen. I can see comments and questions, I think. So, but bear with me because I might be a bit slower replying. So let's see. This is my cardstock stuff. We're going to start off with both basic white and basic black card because I want to try a couple of different things. Oh, the foil, we will need that. So I've got this up here. This is my foil. And then I've got some ideas of things we can use. Oh, I'm going to start with some designer series paper. So we're going to include that in our adventures today. Other things I want to try and foil include vellum. Will vellum work? We're going to give that a shot. I also want to see if... Ooh! Do you think glimmer paper will work? Let's try it. But what I was looking for was foil. Ooh, shimmer paper. See that? The shimmer? Actually, we've got vellum as well. This vellum is the product of the month, vellum. I wonder if that will foil. Right, I'm going to try that. But the other thing up here that I'm looking for to see if it will foil is foil. Will foil foil? Right. So these are our experimentations today. This is going to go either very, very well or very, very badly. Ooh, let's not trip over the cable. That's a bad start. Right, hot foil things that I've got. I'm going to adjust this camera so that you can see. Keeping an eye on the comments. Don't think anybody's commented anything yet. Right, these are the different hot foil things that I've got. So this one is the Butterfly Flight hot foil dies. So you've got the foil and then the shapes that cut them out. And then you've got the masks that you can use to colour them in. I don't think we're going to use that tonight. We've got this, the frames, Flourish and Frames hot foil dies. So again, you've got, let's just show you what that looks like. So yeah, those ones, they're kind of like a more matte grey. Those are the hot foil dies. And then those are the brighter, kind of shinier grey. Those are the actual dies for cutting out. Again, might use that tonight, might not. Wait and see. So any suggestions you've got in the comments. I am watching out for comments. Haven't seen anything yet. Then I've got the Classics Greetings, where there are 5 different greetings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the die that cuts them out. The Alphabet Probably not going to use that tonight because that's quite a detailed one. But again, you've got the hot foil and then you've got the dies to cut it out. Swiss dots. Not going to lie, this is probably the one that's going to get the most action tonight. The Botanical Glow. I can see us trying this one tonight as well. And then the Sweetly Sentimental is the one that I showed you last time. We're probably going to pop that to one side. Let's try these ones to begin with. And I know I said that I would start with black and white cardstock, but actually I'm not. I'm going to put that to one side. We're going to start with some designer series paper. See, even as I pick this, I'm thinking about the projects that I'm going to use, and let's see what papers I might use instead. I'm going to use 6x6. Yeah, rather than go for brights, I'm going to go for regals. Let's pick so this is the Regals 6x6 designer series paper, and I'm going to use the Swiss Dots hot foil dies. Where are my instructions? I need to keep tabs of what I'm doing. So the red light is solid, the white light is flashing. So what I need to do at this point is place the die flat side down. Let's use this for dots. Pop that on and press the white timer button. There we go. Keeping an eye out. No comments yet. If anybody is making comments, then I'm sorry it's not showing up for me. Okay, let's prepare a bit of designer series paper. So how big is this? Let's cut some foil. Gold, I think gold on the green is probably going to be the nicest. Where's my open? Should have got a ruler. Should have been more organised. That's the thing with the point of view camera. You can see me moving all over the shop here. Let's push that cable off to one side. So I want this to be, how wide is it? 5 inches. So that will fit by 6 inches. So I want a 6-inch piece of this. Take that all the way down to the bottom. Slice that over. There we go. Right, it has bleeped. The green light turns on, all lights will be lit. So at this point, build my sandwich. So put the foil shiny side down. I'm going to put that on there like that. Being careful. Then my material, and I want it to be this side. So I'm going to put that on the top as well. Then hot foil shim, which is the green plate. Green goes first. And then the hot foil spacer. And now the whole thing goes through the machine. So let's pull the machine off to one side. Let's take this off. The cable is falling down. Let's just lift that up. Right, let's push this through. Now you want to go relatively slowly on this. There we go. Trying to make sure I don't block the view. go. That. Put that back on the platform. Oh, that whole thing has just come up. Let's lift this off. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it on there because I'm going to use this one again in a minute. But let's take this off and see how it works. Oh, wow. That's really pretty. Can you see the foil on that? Can you see the shimmer? That looks really cool. I like that. Okay, so designer series paper works a treat. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and put the foil on again and see if I can get it to not line up with the existing dots, because that piece, I mean, it has used it. You can see the dots that have come off. There's a lot of space that hasn't been used. I'm going to try and use that again. Will I use it on the dots die or will I use it on the other one? Let's try it with the dots die. And let's try the vellum. So this is I was going to try it on the fancy vellum rather than the plain vellum. So this was one of the products of the month. So this is one of the ones that you got for a £5 if you spent over £70. It is really pretty. There were 4 different coloured vellums. And I'm actually wondering if this one that's already got spots on it, if I did gold spots as well. So let's give this a try. I'm going to cut it to the size that I would want to put through a card anyway. So let's do that let's do it a full card width. So I'm doing 10.5 centimetres by 14.8. And then it can be the entire card front if I want. There we go. Oh, I was meant to press that button first. Press that button first. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? Can you see the gold dots on there? It's really pretty. I'm going to have a quick check, see if there's any comments. Doesn't appear to be any comments. Right. So we've tried designer series paper and it works pretty well. Now we're going to try vellum. So you can see it's a bit thicker. It's a little bit plasticier. We'll see if this works. And once we've done that, I'm going to try actual foil to see what that looks like. And I'm going to do the silver onto the gold foil because I think gold on gold is a bit pointless. So I will do silver instead. So again, let's just cut that while that is thing. So let's cut a piece that is, again, let's do it 10.5 by 14.8. These are UK card sizes. So to anybody watching from other parts of the world, other sizes may vary. Right. Let's try and put this on and position it differently. See if I can get the most out of it. Waste not, want not, as they say. Do it around that way. Just slightly offset it. Let's do that. Right. Let's put my vellum down next. And then let's put on my green spacer and my hot foil spacer. And let's put the whole thing through and see what happens. Try not to block the camera. Still getting used to this point of view camera. back in. Right. Yeah. Okay, so straight away I can see it has worked. Look, actually, that's really cool. Can you see where all the dots are offset? So I have managed to get 2 out of that. And then there's my vellum with the dots. So vellum, thumbs up, works really well. It's slightly raised, so I can feel with my fingers the bumps on the other side. That's quite cool. Okay, next up, foil. And this time I'm going to use the silver foil on the gold foil and see if that works. Let's cut that down to here. Bleeped, so let's start the timer. I think I'm getting the hang of this. Okay, so this one is going to be turning gold foil with silver dots to see if that works. Once that's heated up, I have ended up with, can you see there's a few gold dots on my spacer plate? But in the same way as my cut and emboss plates end up marked after a while, that's fine. I can rub this off if I want to, but actually it's quite pretty. So, right. Once I've done that one though, so I've done vellum, I've done foil, we've got this shimmer paper. This is the Pastels shimmer. So pretty. Look at this. This is really nice. I wonder if, what do we think for the silver dots? Pink and silver? Pool party and silver? Let's do pool party and silver. So again, I'm going to take that to 10.5 by 14.8. Right, my machine bleeped, so let's load this up. So silver foil goes on first, gold foil goes on next, then green spacer, green shim, and then hot foil spacer. And let's push it through. Oops, that's one side. There we go. I think the very first time I did this, I did it way too slowly. Now I'm kind of getting the hang of it. Kind of learn what speed things should go at. Right. These spacers off. And then let's pull this off and see how it looks. Oh, ha, 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 it's so pretty. Look at that. Gold foil with silver foil dots. It's really pretty. Really pretty. Right. Next up, shimmer. See if that works. And then for the grand finale, we're going to try glimmer paper. And in terms of the glimmer, I think I'll use the silvery one. And I'm wondering about doing it with a sentiment. Let's pick a happy birthday Let's try doing a pink happy birthday on the shimmer. Oh, this thing's bleeped at me again. Let's start the timer. So, happy birthday. Cut this the right size. What do we need that to be? 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. And yes, I'm using inches. There we go. That fits on there. Let's use the pink. I haven't used any of the pink yet, so this will be quite fun to try. Still no comments. Maybe nobody there. Maybe you're all out enjoying the sun. And I wouldn't blame you, let's face it, when we have nice weather, we need to take advantage of it. So, 2 1/4 inches. Okay, so this is our next attempt. We're going to do that once this one has worked. Right, so silver foil, foil side down again. Let's do it that way to make sure I've offset it properly. Let's take our shimmer, put that over the top. Then our green spacer goes on next. Oops, adjusting this. Hot foil spacer next. I do like the magnetic cable. Makes it really easy just to clip in and out. And then let's turn that round. Oh, there is a comment. I can't see who it's from or what it says, but I will look in a second. But it tells me somebody is there and is watching, so hello to whoever's watching. Hello to everyone on Facebook, and hello to everyone on YouTube, and hello to everyone on Catch Up. Oh, this is so pretty. Can you see that? So this is shimmer, the speciality shimmer paper with, see if I show it under the light here, does that work? The silver foil dots. This is so pretty. Right, let's get rid of this die and let's put on my happy birthday die and start the timer. Right, so far, for those who have just joined us and are catching up, we've done the Swiss dots in gold onto the designer series paper. Can you see? Really pretty. Then we've done it onto vellum. So there were white dots already, but we've got gold dots that have gone over the top. Then we've used silver foil on gold foil to get that look there. And then silver foil onto shimmer. This is the Pool Party shimmer paper, which is so pretty. So pretty. Right. Oh, no. Now I need to, so it's up to temperature and I need to get the die up to temperature. While that's doing, I am just going to show you what I was putting together this week. Ignore the mess. Oh, who's in the comments? Stacey. Oh, I'm glad you're back home. I'm sorry that you've had an accident. I'm glad you're here though. We're showing off the new hot foil system. This is the alphabet. All foiled, and that was done on Gorgeous Grape. And then these are the sentiments, and I've just stuck all of them onto some basic black there, so quite like that. I'll put them there with my samples. Right, this attempt here is going to be pink foiled happy birthday onto glimmer. Now, I will be very honest, I don't know if this is going to work. And it might not, but we will find out together. And if it doesn't work, then I will have saved you the trouble of trying it yourself. So, waiting for the light to turn to green. Can you see it flashing orange at the moment? When it's up to temperature, it'll bleep, it'll all go green. I'll put the foil on. There we go. Right. Let's put the pink foil on like that. Then kind of see where my die is. Put my glimmer over the top. I can't see where it is. Should have paid more attention. Do you know what? I'm just going to pull this off again. And I'm going to line it up with the line there. Okay? So I can see that it goes to this line here. So 1, 2. Let's put the foil back down again. And so it goes to 1.5 up at the bottom. And these ones down. That's fine. The grids are there for a reason. Let's use the grids. See if this has worked. So, hot foil shim goes on first, then the spacer, take the piece off and push it through. We'll see if this works. I don't know if this will, because the glimmer paper is kind of plasticky as well. But then so is the vellum. So I think it's worked. Oh my goodness. Look at how fabulous that is. Oh, it's gorgeous and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Right, where's the happy birthday to go with it? I think, is it this one? We'll find out if it is this one. Yes. Oh, look, right, and I know I have the perfect friend who's going to get this birthday card. I have a friend who I have known for many, many years, and she is obsessed with all things sparkly and pink. And this is both sparkly and pink. Oh, look at this. This is just gorgeous. It works. It worked. I am so chuffed with this. Right. There's the die. There's the offcut. Look at that. I'm going to put it on some black for contrast so you can see. Can you see just how shimmery and glittery that sentiment is? Love it. Love, love, love it. But, ooh, who else have we got? Hey, Ali, glad you're here. Right, I am going to try something else. So I'm just going to cut a piece of black cardstock. Okay, about a little bit larger than this. Right, if I now plug this back in, and I'm going to take off the die, put the other one to cool down, and I'm going to switch on the plate to heat up, even though there's nothing on it, because what I'm going to do, oh, it's not going to work. It's going to give me the reverse, isn't it? I was going to say, let's get the reverse of this, but you're not going to be able to read it. What I could do is I could use that and get silver. That's not as much fun. Would it go on this way? No, it needs to go that way around. You're not going to be able to read it. Right, let's try one of the other dies. Have a bit of fun with that. Let's use the Botanical Glow. So, ooh, right. I've had another idea. While that's heating up, let's cut another piece that's the size of a card blank. Do I want it in black? Yes, I do. So 14.5 by 10, by 10.5, not 14.5, 14.8 by 10.5. Okay, so that is a card, a C6 card front, which is going to be slightly larger than my die, but that's okay. Let's put the die on. Doesn't matter if you put the die on early while it's still heating up, as I have discovered. Oh, look at that. Honestly, foil on glimmer might be my new favourite thing. I think that is just simply stunning. Okay. We're going to use up our offcut pieces here. So I've got some gold and some silver that I've used already, and I've run both of these through twice with the dots, but I'm now going to run it through with the leaves, and we're going to kind of do it half and half. So let's wait to get it up to temperature first though. So the plate is heating up, and then I'm going to press the button and let the die heat up, even though the die is kind of heating up already. But it's fine. We're being a rebel here. Right, so start the button so that the die heats up. Let's move some of this out of the way. Am I the only one who creates a mess when they're crafting? I'm not as bad as I used to be, but I am still quite messy. Oh no! Mustn't let my instructions, I've let them get stuck, and I need them still. Oh, I've just remembered though, there was something else I was going to try. Yes. While that's heating up, I'm going to come down here to my embossing folders, and let's... Which embossing folder shall I use? Oh, it's got to be the snowflakes. Right. I wonder if I can put something in an embossing folder and then hot foil it. We're going to give that a try. Let's cut a piece of, it's got to be navy if I'm using this, navy and silver. Navy or Secret Sea? Let's try a piece of Secret Sea. Secret Sea or Night of Navy? I do love my Night of Navy. Let's choose the Night of Navy. Traditional, but effective. Right, but that's bleeped. Oh, talk about multitasking. Right, multitasking. So I've got my gold foil, and it's an offcut type piece. I'm going to put that on the top there. And then this silver bit, I'm going to put on the bottom there, kind of covering up everything here, going a bit mad. Let's put that on the top, that on the top, unplug, and then run it through. Oh, I still got the other plate in. Just getting overly excited here. Right. And let's see if we can heat foil, emboss, whatever, with 2 offcuts. Ah! Oh no! You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put a piece of card in. If you forget to put a piece of card in, you're going to have a beautifully heat embossed spacer plate. Oh dear. But it did work. Nobody paying attention and trying to stop me from doing something silly. Ah, dear, oh dear. I'd even cut the black piece out ready, and I forgot to put it in. Okay, lessons learned, guys. You heat it up, and then you put on your foil, and then you put on cardstock. Oh dear. I do feel very silly now. Right, while I'm waiting for that to heat up, let's do this. So this is, I think this is a retired embossing folder. Not gonna lie, this one might not be current. It's Snowflake Sky 3D. Let's put it in and run it through. So I need my 3D embossing plate and this one as well. Kind of getting all in a mess here. Right, heat up the die. Let's try that one again. Let's put that to one side. So this is my embossing folder. I did hear somebody say that you can put embossing folders through the hot plate system. I would not recommend that because embossing folders, like this one, are plastic. And if you put that in with a hot surface, it will melt. So please do not melt your embossing folders because then you will be sad because your embossing folder will be spoiled, especially if it's a retired one that you love greatly that you can't get replaced. So yeah, let's pop that one to one side. So beautifully foil embossed. But it's quite interesting because there's little bits of it that are missing, which is exactly what I would expect because there's dots here already. There's actually not that much missing. So let's see how we go. Move that off to one side. Let's put some of this stuff away. Emma, you're making such a mess. Where's my Swiss dots? Right. It has bleeped. Yes, I know it's bleeped. I'm going to deal with it. Okay, so let's try this one again. Silver foil, gold foil, cardstock, hot foil shim, hot foil spacer. And now let's push it through the machine. See what happens this time. Right, so trying not to block the camera. There we go. Let's take that off. Plug that back in again just for good measure. Right, here we go. This makes a lot more sense. I've actually got some cardstock here. So let's peel off this piece of the gold. Take that off though. Onto this time. This piece of the silver. There we go. Look at that. So I've got gold on the bottom, silver on the top. You can kind of see there's bits of the leaf outline that are broken up because I was using off-cut foil. But I don't mind that. If I wanted a solid shape, then I can use a brand new piece of foil, and I have got plenty of foil over there. But I wanted to show you how using the offcuts is just as effective. So, right. But next though, let's just press green, even though there's not a die on there. I'm pressing it green to let it heat up. I'm going to get some silver. Let's cut this to, yeah, let's just do it that wide. All right. Now, I probably need an additional shim here because I'm going to be missing a die. So what I need are some extra bits of card, right? Because if you put stuff through and it's too shallow, it won't work. Let's use some extra pieces. Where's that knife? There we go. Do you ever do that? You try and put something through your cut and emboss and it goes through too easily, so you know the sandwich isn't correct. Okay. Right, so there's nothing on there, there's no die. I'm going to put the silver foil straight down and then my embossed cardstock I'm going to put down over the top. Then I'm going to put my spacer, beautifully patterned, my hot foil spacer, but it's still not going to be thick enough, so I'm going to put some of these in here as well to kind of bulk it up. Too many. See, if it goes through and it's not going through easily, don't force it. Let's take one out. No, still too many. Let's take out a couple more. I don't want to squash my embossed piece completely flat. There's a very good chance this isn't going to work, guys. I am just going to say that right now. This is very much in experimentary territory. Okay, let's take out my shims. Let's take this piece off, beautifully decorated as it is. And let's see what's happened. So this has completely bonded to it. It's not peeling off. The whole thing is stuck down. I can kind of see my embossing pattern through it. But actually, I'm not wild about this, I'm not going to lie. I think if I wanted to use an embossing folder and have it silvery foiled, I would just use foil. I would use the, where is it? I would use the silver or gold version of foil. So, you know what? It was worth a try. Somebody said about embossing folders. I actually don't think this is the best use of the hot foil machine. But that's just my opinion. You are welcome to yours. All right, let's come back over to the desk and I'll show you all of these under the normal camera. Trial and error, Ali. Absolutely. You're finding it highly entertaining. I'm glad. I'm glad this is amusing you. Right. Let's take this thing off. Heavier than it looks. Having a phone dangling around your neck. Okay, let's show them up to the camera then. So this is gold foil dots on designer series paper. Works pretty well. Then we've got gold foil dots on vellum, and this was the product of the month vellum. Also works pretty well. And this was a second impression. So ran the same piece of foil through twice. Then we have silver foil dots then on a gold foil cardstock. Works pretty well. Foil it, then emboss it. Yeah, maybe. I think you'd just be cheaper using silver foil or gold foil rather than the heat foiling. Then this is the Pool Party Shimmer specialty paper with silver dots. Also looking very pretty. Then we had the second time round, double foiled. So some of my gold foiling on the bottom, silver foiling on the top, using the offcuts so that nothing got wasted. We had the attempt. This is what happens when you foil something that's been through the 3D embossing folder. Not sure how wild I am about that. And then I still think this is my favourite experiment so far from today. Silver foil on, pink foil on silver glimmer to get that happy birthday, and then die cut out afterwards. The alphabet and the sentiments I showed you from before. So, right, so that was my plan for this evening. Will it foil? The answer is pretty much yes. When my husband and I were thinking about all the different things that could foil, do you know, there's one more that we haven't tried. Let me plug in the machine again. Are we going to do this? I'm kind of scared to do this. Let's do it. What's the worst that can happen? If there's a fire, somebody who knows where I live, just phone 999, okay? That sounds terrible. I'm not planning on having a fire. But then, does anybody ever plan to have a fire? Let me show you what it is that I was thinking of. Flip this around to the desk. So this is the paper pumpkin set, Bikes and Blooms, which, by the way, we will make at some point, but not tonight. But in with the paper pumpkins, it comes with some tissue paper. And so I wondered if you can use foil on tissue paper. So let's give this a try. So I'm going to cut some of the foil, some of the tissue paper. Stepped out momentarily. Ali, don't worry, the fire won't spread quite as far as Bristol. If I do catch fire, then I'm sure somebody else will notice. I mean, if the fire alarm does go off, there's every chance my husband might notice. You know what? There's our first thing. Don't try and cut tissue paper in a cut and emboss machine, in a trimmer. It doesn't work. I mean, it might if I'd been a bit more careful, but let's just use scissors. Okay. Let's cut. You know what? I reckon I can cut tissue paper. See if I just try and do a single layer rather than 3 layers at once. And if I try and do it in the center, you know what? It does work. There we go. Success. Tissue paper. So it's got like a shiny side and a matte side. We're going to try this. What shall we try it with? Let's try it with the dots, because the dots have stood us well so far. And let's use a bit of silver again. Actually, let's use some more of those offcuts. Because then I haven't wasted anything. So let's put this heavy camera back on. Right. Oh, and let's flip round. Point of view. Right. Let's put the die on and press the timer. And then we're going to use gold and silver offcuts again. Might as well. Just very thin. Because at the end of the day, tissue paper is just very thin paper. So there is no real reason why it shouldn't work. I don't really think it'll catch fire. Of course, the other question is, once I have done it, if it does work, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to put it on a card? Am I going to do it as part of packaging? Don't know yet. We shall find out. It's as exciting for me as it is for you guys. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen any more than you do. Right. Oh, I wonder, that's interesting. If I use the silver foil on here you can see that there's the leaf shapes on it. Will you be able to spot the leaves on the tissue paper? Like a reverse kissing effect type thing. Maybe. Let's put that about there. Let's put the tissue paper on next. And then my hot foil shim. Oh, this needs to be positioned up a little bit. Let's take the heat off. Let's do the spacer. Push it all the way through. I think it would be a good thing to be able to hot foil tissue paper. I mean, I know I've just done the blue tissue paper that came in free with the paper pumpkin, but must be other uses for it. Right. It works. Can you see? I'll bring it back under the main camera because that's better. And flip it round. Look! Tissue paper works. And I didn't burn the house down. Foil the shiny side of the tissue paper. I wish I'd seen that before before I started, Ali. Use scissors. Glad you're here. Yeah. So there we go. Tissue paper. It works. When my husband and I were thinking about all the different things that you could do, we talked about using foil and we talked about using tissue, and he was like, what happens if you use cling film? And I was like, yeah, no, we're not even going to attempt cling film because I think that would end very, very, very badly. So, right. Thank you very much for joining me on this hot foiling adventure tonight. I think it's been quite cool to see all the different things that work. If you've got any more ideas or suggestions or things you'd like to see me try with the hot foil machine, then drop it in the comments, drop it in the chat. I'm more than happy to try it another time. And if you've got any questions about the machine or anything else, then get in touch. Hope you're having a good week. Take care, everyone. Happy crafting.